Hello, welcome into this edition of the Sancomb Show. I'm your host, Matt Keifer. I'm the Director of Athletic Communications here for the Vulcans. Coach, another Saturday off for you. Definitely an anomaly for you guys to get maybe one bye a year you're used to, but with Mercier's leaving, you're getting a lot of byes this year. But again, it's not always necessarily a bad thing for personally, but also guys getting some rest. But you do like the idea of the rhythm the season always brings itself.
Yeah, you want to play games when you get to a certain point. But we've handled the stretch pretty well. We've had good practices and trying to keep our guys fresh at this point in the season.
Yeah, we're walking over today. We see Coach Conti, and it's baseball season, believe it or not. So that means it's end of year season. I don't know how we're at this point already. It does not seem like we even finished the first round of conference play, but the second round is just flying by of conference divisional play.
It always does. February, you blink your eyes, and it starts, and then it's over, and then you get into the tournament. But it has flown by.
So one game last week, UPJ came back to the Convocation Center first time in a while, but that was a contest there. You got a nice lead there in the second half and then just sort of held on from there, but tough competition there. They're fighting for a playoff spot. You guys are fighting for seeding in the playoffs. Just your thoughts on that contest there with UPJ.
Yeah, hard-fought win. I thought we started the game very well. I thought we played well on both ends of the ball. I thought offensively we moved it. We shot well. I think Donald really got off to a good start in the first half, and Jordan Buchanan towards the end of the first half really got it going as well. We were in a little bit of foul trouble with Cam, and it was nice because we sat him and he was out early, but we were able to play well without him, and he was able to come in the second half and do what he does. So I just thought it worked out overall. They beat us at their place pretty good. It was good to turn the tides, and it was a good team effort.
It's one of those things. Cam got in foul trouble, but their big scorer, Ryan Smith, got in foul trouble too, so it really negated the top two perimeter shooters there for both teams. But similar shooting percentage in the first half. They shot 50%, Cal shot 58%, so similar there. And then the second half, 40% to 35%, 36%. So really, the teams were pretty even throughout the contest shooting the ball.
Yeah, I thought for us in the second half, I think we got up by about 20 or 21. And we lost a little bit of focus, and I think our shooting percentage at that point was pretty good, and it just kind of dwindled down. But our defense, we try to echo and say that to our guys all the time. We're going to win if we play good on that end of the court. And, when you hold a team to 35%, which shoots close to 50%, for the season, you're going to give yourself a good chance to win the game. And I kind of felt like we kept them at bay the entire second half.
Yeah, and the big deficit there, you obviously got to rely on the three to get try to get some of those points back with the number of possessions. They only made 5 threes. It's not really a team that shoots a lot of threes outside Ryan Smith, and he was in foul trouble, but still giving up only 5 threes to the opposing team. You got to be happy with that kind of defense in the perimeter.
Yeah, just to do that, defending the three is always important to us. And then, their big guy, he had 24 points against us last time, and I don't think he missed a shot in the second half. And did a lot of damage, and Dowman did a really good job on him. I think he was 4 for 12 in the game, and he shoots close to 60%, maybe a little bit higher than 60% for the game. So holding him from 4 for 12 was really big for us.
Yeah, and Dom in that game you referenced his play on defense. He ended up having 3 blocks, 10 points, and 4 assists. A lot of nice things there overall for Dom in 37 minutes. No defensive rebounds. We got 3 offensive rebounds, and he's just so active on the glass on the offensive side.
Yeah, he did a great job on the offensive glass, and not only did he get 3 offensive rebounds, he converted on all 3 of them, which is really, really big there. And then just his defense in general. He blocked shots and he changed shots, and like I said, he was a tall task. Their post player is a very good player, and Dowman took that personal and really did a good job defending him, and played a complete game on both ends for us.
And then we referenced Donald earlier in the game. He finished with 26, 9 of 10 from the line, so really converting there, and also getting 7 assists with only 2 turnovers, exactly what you expect out of Donald every game, at least 2 to 3 and 1 assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, and he, like in the first half too, especially with Cam going down, he really stepped up his offensive game at that point, and just made shot after shot and was able to create for others and did a really good job. And like you said, we need him to do that. We need him to do that, play at a high level, and he's been able to do that for us in conference play this year for sure.
And Jordan Buchanan finished up with 16 points, 6 of 9 shooting, really efficient there, 6 rebounds. And Cam ended up 18 points, fought through it a little bit there. The first half foul trouble, then just trying to get his shot in the second half, but he still finishes with about 20 points there.
Yeah, and they were all in the second half. I'm pretty sure. He may have scored 1 or 2 in the first half, but he just was big for us. He made some shots, had some good looks that he normally makes, didn't go down, but he stayed shooting the ball and made plays for us in the second half, which was good. And Jordan, just a complete game. When you look up there, 16 points, he had the 6 rebounds, played really good defense. Jordan has played very, very well for us the last month and a half of the season.
And the bench is a little short again. The Shields is out, but again, Caden Haney finishes up with 8 rebounds and 11 points. So one of those things without Keandre there to help out a little bit in the middle, Caden did what he needed to do to get some rebounds.
Yeah, Caden just solid for us, man. He does all the little things too. The almost a double-double there, but just the screens that he sets to get guys open, his talk on defense just brings the great energy night in and night out. He brings so much to our team, and he's our leader, he's our rock, and he's setting the tone for our team night in and night out.
In that game, Donald entered the game with only just a handful of points away from 1,000 points. Easily gets that in the first half on a free throw, of course. Seemingly one of those things you always want a nice transition bucket or one of his transition threes, but it was a free throw. But it's just saying something about Donald there for getting 1,000 points as a point guard. Really upped his scoring this year. He had to with the amount of injuries. He can score, but at the same point, in his first 2 years, he's proved he can just be an extra option. He doesn't have to be the scorer.
Yeah, he's so talented. He does what it takes to win. Obviously this year we've called upon him to score much more. He's comfortable doing that. He's comfortable setting the table. He's just willing to do whatever it takes for our team to win games, and that's awesome. Donald doesn't say much, and he just shows up and works, and the 1,000 points obviously is a great accomplishment, but he really can score the ball. He has no problem at all getting a shot off anytime he wants to, but he just does what it takes to make our team the best it can be.
Yeah, and on the way over, I was referencing you. We've had 6 1,000-point scorers since you've been here in your 7 years. And you've had different guys. You've had him and Brent both be point guards. You've had Zion be a wing. You had Jermaine in the post, KJ a guard. Keith's got 1,000 already, even though he's been injury plagued the last couple of years as a post. It just says something about your offense and what you've been able to do to have guys come in and be able to contribute right away, but be able to score the ball, but be guys who are staples of the program.
Well, I think first it says, we've been fortunate to have great players. Anybody that scores 1,000 points, it's great. And I do think the style we play is very equal opportunity. There's a lot of touches for players, but I also think it says a lot about the guys that are in our program to be willing passers. You mentioned 6 guys that, scored 1,000 points, and a lot of those guys played together, overlapped each other, and so forth. But, the common goal is, we talk about this all the time, is winning. And I think we've got a group of guys in our program that care about winning, and that supersedes the 1,000 points or, the 1,000 rebounds or whatever it may be. But, just having guys that want to win and that are willing to do what it takes to win makes our job a lot easier as coaches.
Well, it certainly got the win there on 91-79 victory over UPJ. We'll take a quick break here and take a look at the standings here. Any of these final 2 games of the regular season, still plenty to be determined in the PSAC tournament. We'll be right back.
Coach Danny Sancomb and the Vulcans men's basketball is ready to take the conference and the nation by storm this season. A non-conference schedule that starts on November 8th is followed by the PSAC West play in January. Pack the Convocation Center with 13 home games featuring non-conference foes such as Concord, Lincoln, and Wilmington, as well as conference opponents IUP, Gannon, Slippery Rock, Clarion, Edinburgh, Seton Hill, and Pitt Johnstown. Follow calvulcans for the all-up-to-date schedule. Catch all the games on YouTube with CUTV Sports 1 and also the PSAC Digital Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in the league's 23 championship sports. 17 member campuses, educating more than 110,000 students, with an alumni base that tops the 1 million mark. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of Danny Sancomb Show. I'm your host, Matt Kiefer. With me is head coach Danny Sancomb. Big game, obviously, but they're all big games right now. The last week of the regular season, for most of the season has really been trying to fight back to get into this position to be in the conference tournament. With the win on Wednesday last week and some of the things that happened in the PSAC, got that spot clinched, but now you're still fighting for that. What seed do you want to have? You have a chance to be a home game Monday, home game Wednesday, but 2 big games here coming up still this week.
Absolutely, and that's our focus. Obviously, IUP is a great opponent, as well as Edinburgh, so we're going to have to earn what we get down the stretch here with those 2 teams.
So looking at the standings here in the PSAC West, most of the teams have been clinched, but the seeds, the only one is so far is Gannon as the 1 seed. They're idle here on Wednesday, and then they close up with Seton Hill on Saturday. Then Cal's right there tied with Edinburgh. Could very well come down to the last game of the regular season to figure out who's home Monday, who's home Wednesday, gets that bye. Cal's got at IUP and then home versus Borough, and Edinburgh's got home Slippery Rock before coming to Cal. And then Slippery Rock's got Borough, then Idle. And then those last couple spots, they're still fighting is Seton Hill, IUP, and UPJ. 3 teams right there with 7 wins during the last week of the season. We've talked about it for how many weeks now. The parity is right there in this league. So many teams are right there having solid seasons. Really only one team set themselves apart so far in terms of a seed, but overall, still what you want for your guys to be able to see that there's opportunities there to improve yourself, but also get yourself what you want to be, being hot going to the tournament.
Yeah, when you get down to the last week of the season, and everybody, I think even Clarion with an outside chance looking in has a chance to still possibly win if a lot of things go right. So everybody in the league is playing for something in the last week of the season. That does not happen year in and year out. So I think that goes to show, the parity in our conference and on our side especially, that it's tough to win games. It's really tough to win games, and you can look down that line from first place all the way down to last place. The parity is very, very close. I believe Clarion beat Gannon this year, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of how competitive our side has been this year, and each and every night you got to go out and earn it, and it's been a dogfight. And
that parity will actually help here in a minute. We're going to talk about something else, but I think it actually is helping you guys overall at this same point. But looking at the East real quick, 5 of the teams are still set, 6 spots still up for grabs, but there's only 2 games separating first and second. Westchester first, 16-3. East Stroudsburg second, 14-5. Westchester closes the year with Millersville and Kutztown, and Millersville is already in the tournament, so it's going to be tough for Westchester, but they still have a chance right there in the East to get that 1 seed. And it's important for them to know what happens in the East, because the winner, Final 4 advancing teams in the PSAC tournament from the West will shift to the East this year, since it was in the West last year. So it's one of those, you just sort of see what's there, but you have so many things to even worry about before you get to that point. But it's nice to see that. I expect that 2 really good teams still fighting it on the Eastern side.
No doubt about it. They had a big game last week too, and it went down to the wire. I think it was 84-80. Westchester beat East Stroudsburg. So 2 well-coached teams, very talented teams. And as good as our side has been, the East this year is very good as well. So, it's going to be a great last week of the season, and I'm sure our conference tournament is going to be up for grabs.
And last week there, we're late in the season, which means finally we get an addition of the regional rankings. But still, they're not regional rankings. They're just sort of alphabetical. You and I have been around basketball a long time. But it's one of those things, you don't see too many teams with double-digit losses being featured in the rankings. But it's one of those things, I think it's speaking to the schedule you guys have played, not only conference, so many teams with good records, but non-conference is really helping you guys in your case. I looked at it as the second best strength of schedule in the region. There's over 45 teams in the region. So it's saying, like, you'll play anybody, anywhere, and it helps you just get battle tested come playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, it's been a different year. It's almost like we've had 3 separate teams this year. We were 6-0, 4th in the country. We had the biggest point differential in the country in the first 6 games. And then, we had a ton of injuries, and we lost 7 in a row, where we really struggled, as a team. And then we've come back now, and we've won 9 out of our last 11, I think it is, or we've played really good basketball. And just, our guys have figured it out. Obviously, getting semi-healthy has really helped us. But, Donald and Cam obviously have experience. But the Caden Hannas of the world, the Dalman Alexanders that didn't play a lot last year, really have elevated their game. And then our freshmen, from Jordan Buchanan to Keandre DeShields to Duncan Moy, have just gotten better as the year has went on. So it's been fun, and to see yourself in the regional rankings, which means absolutely nothing. It says a lot though about the guys in the program and just their will not to quit and continue to work. So it's been fun coaching them.
Yeah, and for those who are looking at it, under consideration the first week is basically what they do. It's alphabetical order. So Cal, being a C, gets to be at the top of the order. Does not mean Cal's a Bolton by any means, but it's just one of those things, alphabetical. Cal, Concord was in it last year. East Stroudsburg, as we said, is one of the top in the East. Fairmont State's always a great program in the MEC. Fayetteville State out of CAA. Gannon, Shepherd's having a great season. Virginia State, Westchester, and of course West Liberty. Basically, year in and year out, they're going to always be featured in there. But the numbers will come out this week, right? Probably before the women's game tips at 5:30. So be a very busy afternoon, evening for basketball with the idea of regional rankings coming out seeding-wise, but also so much still here to play for with IUP coming up, a team that's traditionally and year in and year out one of those teams in the regional rankings, and at home at the KCAC. No matter their record, no matter the time of year, that place always is a tough place to play.
Absolutely. They make you earn it. Obviously they're not having as good a season as they normally do, but they're a team that you have to beat. They do not beat themselves. They play hard. They execute on both ends of the court. So very, very big game for us tomorrow. Yeah, two good guards that we're going to talk about this place here, the transfer and then also the freshmen. So those guys have been really their linchpins, just like Cam and Donald have been for Cal. The two really good guards for them is really how they end up going. Yeah, they score the ball very well. They do a good job getting those guys in position where they're very effective. And both of those guys, are guys that can score the basketball, but also they pass the ball well too, so it makes it a little bit harder where if you collapse on them, they'll find guys, and they got multiple ways that they're able to beat you. And then not necessarily looking ahead to Saturday, but the overall what Saturday is being senior day. We want to take this time to at least, we've talked about Caden how many times this year, but again, just the idea of his story coming from La Roche, being freshman of the year in a Division III conference, wanting the challenge coming up to Division II, seeing a big role as the first year, more of a bench guy last year, not playing a lot with such a team of so veterans, and then this year just being almost like a captain for you guys on the court, and you're an inspirational leader, especially after all the injuries went down. Yeah, absolutely. He's just continued to get better. Obviously, coming in as freshman, sophomore year, he's just adapted, and he's what our program is all about. When you talk about culture and you want guys that are all about what you're about, he checks every box. You talk about a hard-working player every day. The extra work that he puts in is second to none. His vocal leadership this year has been great. Like I said, we had some great stretches. We had a bad stretch, and just keeping guys together and really caring about guys on and off the court. Man, he just does all that stuff for us. He will be missed a ton after this season. He's done so much for our program, and this year, he is our captain. He's been our rock, and he's led our team and done a great job in his way of doing it, and can't say enough good things about him. We will miss him. So that's looking at this week ahead here. A big win for the Vulcans against IUP on Wednesday at the KCACC, and then here at the Convocation Center on Saturday for Senior Day. 3 o'clock approximate tip for the Convo. Lots to play for in that game. Could be deciding first round home game, second round home game for the Vulcans. Still lots to play for. Coach, thanks for taking the time on a very busy week and important week here for the Vulcans, and appreciate all the time here this season. Absolutely. Thank you. So again, follow the action all on calvulcans.com for all the live links, video feed, stats, and all the information upcoming tournament next week in the PSAC. Thanks for watching.